Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Why am I so pale? I didn't fix my my exposure this morning. Whoops! Let me do that quickly. That will take me like 1 second. Boosh. There we go. That's a more normal-ish skin tone. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's doing good. Welcome back to HeroesCCL, as presented by Roll20 and as co-streamed to you by me. I am Tetcher, and welcome to today's games. Now, I'm going to start this off with a warning. There have been some pretty rough issues with the clean feed in the lead up to the show. Apparently there have been some pretty consistent network issues, and trust me, I am seeing them. So hopefully it stabilizes and scales down to the point where it's not going to be a big deal and the show can run as expected. I hope. I can't promise that, though. We're just going to do our best and hope that everything is fine. But for now, welcome to the cast. I am Tetcher, I'm your co-streamer for today, and today we are doing the playoff bracket for the Heroes Half CCL. Let's check that out and see exactly what we're talking about and where we are going today. As you can see, we are at the playoff bracket stage, fighting their way through the gauntlet phase of the playoffs. Simplicity have made their way into the bracket. They are here. They have made it in. They are going up against the #1 seed. CrowdControl will be their opponents. Jesus Christ. You guys aren't seeing this, but oh boy, the clean feed is having a freak out right now. It is not good. It is not good at all, but that's to be expected from CCL, to be honest. But we'll deal with what we get. We'll just manage as best we can. We might just have to not watch this live and just watch it on the clean feed with a delay. It's trying to run to 240p right now. It's struggling. It's having a bad time. My network's handling it pretty easily, but it's having a bad time. It's not doing so hot, fam. But we'll hope. We will trust it. We will hope that they have got it sorted and fixed and everything will run smoothly once we actually make our way in. But of course, this is our first game for today, CrowdControl versus Simplicity. Our second game will be the matchup of Wildheart Esports versus Oxygen Esports. Should be a very fun matchup. I am excited to bear witness as we are preparing to get going into that series as soon as possible. Yeah, it looks like the only method we're going to have to do is watching this on like a little bit of a delay. That's the only reason it works, to basically let all the technical issues from the CCL side just sort of run themselves out before they get to us. That's going to have to be our strategy today, which is fine. It means you guys are going to have like a 10-second delay from the mainstream, but if you wanted to watch the game without a delay, you would be watching the mainstream anyway, because the clean feed has a bit of a delay. So you are here, hopefully, for me. Excuse me, for me. Ruined that one, didn't I? So, exciting matchups coming up. CrowdControl versus Simplicity is where we are starting. So let's talk about that. Simplicity, they made some changes going into the playoffs, and they put on a belter of a performance. Some of the most dominant games we have seen in CCL so far. They really showed up, beating out Granite Gaming 3-1, Simplicity 3-1, and 30K, the #4 seed. They beat them out 3-0. Simplicity absolutely smashed everyone in their way. They brought Legacy in as the main support for the team, the starting support, which really helped them out and gave them a belter of a performance boost. And also Cure decided to show that apparently he's been smurfing on his entire team and the enemy teams all season, and just dunk every single person he came across. Cure was a beast in last week's games. Absolute god. Very excited to see him play today, see if he can keep up that skill level. But we are, of course, talking about CrowdControl as well. CrowdControl, they are the top-seeded team ready to make their way in. Lauber, Rutzau, X-Ray, Dynout, Dayquaza, and Heavy. an insanely strong team being coached by Porky, another actually legendary competitor who's going to be putting on a lot of stuff. You love this shirt? Thank you. I got it for my birthday 3 days ago. It was really, really nice. It's so comfy. It's made of like esports jersey material, so it's super stretchy and thin. And because I'm a warm boy all the time, it's super comfy and amazing because it's so breathable and I don't get hot in it, which is wonderful when you are a toasty lad like myself. So feels good. But yeah, I got that and a load of other really nice shirts for my birthday. So expect new shirts coming up in the current shows. Feels good. Hot boy, I'm a hot boy. Oh, I'm turning into a southern gentleman from sometime pre-90s. Oh, I say, I do declare. Can the V-neck get deeper? No, it cannot, because TOS. Alrighty, so we're going to be getting ready to go in. So once again, CrowdControl, they performed absolutely insane in the main season, going 6-1, tied with Wild Hearts though, but they had a +2 map excuse me, a +2 map difference with Wild Heart winning 19 and losing 9, with CrowdControl winning 20 and losing 8. A +2 difference there, and both of them being ahead of Oxygen Esports, who went 5-2. So, CrowdControl are one of the most dominant teams coming into this. They are also the team that came second when they came first, in the preseason cup, the Icebreaker tournament. Feels good. They are an insane team. Last time these two teams faced each other, it did not go well for Simplicity, where they did unfortunately get bopped in a 3-0 during week 5. They tried their best, but unfortunately they did get outplayed pretty hard. CrowdControl even busting out the Zarya during that tournament. It was very entertaining indeed to watch. They ran a Zarya, Muradin, and Yarel during that round with Cassia Hypersassin on battlefields. The rest of the compositions were relatively normal, with the exception of a double support, which is becoming more normal these days. Running an Uthas Stukov, ETC Sylvanas, Diva. Really, really strong lineup there. Very tough to deal with. So it was good to see the V-neck showed Andy Sandberg and Ben Stiller on SNL. It's really hard to get SNL in the UK, so I don't. You can get it on like Now TV with like all the other Comedy Central stuff, but it's really hard to get over here, so I don't really get to watch a lot of it. Ferryman, thank you very much for dropping the sub thank you very much indeed, subscribed for 3 months, very appreciated. With your sub, we are now at 70 subs of our 100 sub goal that we are trying to hit. Thank you very much for your support. We're going to try and hit 100 subs again. We got it right before Christmas. We're just going to try and hit 100 subs every single month, and if we keep doing it consistently, we will raise that number. So if you enjoy the cast today, make sure you drop a subscription. And if you're feeling generous, maybe give some subs. Maybe bring people into the Tetcher fan. By the way, speaking of, to get more value for your money, new emotes are coming. If you look in the sub emotes right now, you will see some stuff like the Tetchy Burb and a lot of stuff like that, the false dad stuff. That's all made by the wonderful artist. Oh, the clean feed just froze all the way up, but it seems to be okay. That was made by the wonderful artist Alarak of the Storm, the HOTS High Lord. Oh, good lord. I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. This is rough. But she is making me some new emotes. They're not my dad as well. Okay. It looks like we've stabilized, but we were getting like frame by frame. It was bad for a bit there, but it looks like we stabilized. Clean feeds running, ladies and gentlemen. We have a draft. Let's go. We have Medivh and Zeratul banned out. CrowdControl reacting very, very intelligently. They've watched the games previously, and they're going to be smart about it. Banning that Zeratul away from Cure. Something that the other teams did not do. And Cure kept bringing it out, and it kept getting really solid plays, especially against the Protector, just slicing it down. This does allow Tychus to go over to CrowdControl. This leaves Stukov and tank priority over to Simplicity. Already the draft rushing through very, very quickly. The overpowered assassins in Chromie and Cassia getting removed, with the Tychus being the third in that wheelhouse, sometimes in the top 2, with Zeratul as a target for Cure and Medivh because Medivh. It also leaves Hogger open for these teams, but with Tychus on the board, Simplicity, they are going to take that risk. Hogger into Tychus is a really hard matchup for the Hogger, but Simplicity are still going to try it, with Lutano being the Hogger player for the team, which is always fun because Cure usually the offlaner. They're very, very flexible when it comes to their composition. They've run with the Uther though, and you can see this Masquerade currently hovering it. Multiple times in last week's games, they ran double support with Uther as the main tank to run in a second support as well and give them that extra sustain that way. To help against that, to try and immediately counter the double support, Ana and Malthael. This is incredibly smart because something we also saw last week was Malthael plus another offlaner, with Malthael being in the 4-man and Cure running in with a nano-boosted Malthael. CrowdControl have done their research and they are straight up targeting everything Simplicity ran in the previous weeks and either banning or stealing it. The Hogger and Luther are still normal. They can still run a Stukov in this and it will be fine. Although CrowdControl could ban it if they want to really get rid of that double support capability, or at least limit it, because there are still some good options. But honestly, CrowdControl are controlling this draft. They have an incredible frontline murder squad that will deal with... Look at this! They've so focused! They are literally just trying to ban out every piece that Lutana, the rest of Simplicity brought in last week, and they are targeting each piece by piece by piece, and they're eliminating everything that they feel is a linchpin in those compositions. This is brilliant. I love seeing teams that have done this much research. We're still going to see that double support with the hyper carry Vala to fill the place. With no Genji on the board and no Chromie, they have to drop back to another hyper carry. Cassia also removed, Tychus removed. They have to drop to Vala. Vala and Hanzo were the two big ones. Nintendo did say they didn't show a lot of their strats, but they are sticking to what they know so far. They will be playing, I don't know what they'll be playing, probably another melee hero as their last pick, maybe another ranged. As CrowdControl, they bring out the Laubert Johanna, one of his top, and they get Mephisto. Really heavy on that spell power. The objective siege they have right now with Tychus and Mephisto is insane, and the damage output. Nano boost on either Malthael or Mephisto, but even Tychus is going to do a lot of work. Yeah, the clean feed is real bad today. It's really not good. I'm running it on a delay just to make it watchable, because it is bad today, as we do see Tyrael running as the second melee, the third melee in fact. And they're going to actually put Masquerade on the Tyrael this time. Hosty, interestingly enough, usually the single ranged player, going to be jumping onto the Lucio. Very interesting. So Legacy on the Uther, that's the main support. Cure going to be playing that Vala. Cure really seems to like putting himself on hyper carries. Likes to play the hyper carries himself. Whatever the most important hero in the composition is, Cure seems to like to play that himself, and he is the team leader of Simplicity, so that is fair. That is what he can do. Lutano back on that Hogger, because he is the Hogger player for the team, and he's very, very good at it. But I'm leaning towards CrowdControl. I think they put on a great performance. The Sanctification is going to have to be the big key play in this. What's my delay on the clean feed like now? 10 seconds. That seems right. Yeah, I'm running it on a 10-second delay, and it's working well enough. That's what I'm having to do, but it's not good today. It's not good. With the Sang and the D, with the Sang, the D shield, and don't forget the sound barrier. That's going to be a huge play here. I don't think they'll run D-Shield, in fact. I think they might run the Divine Storm to give themselves the main setup, because they don't really have a lot of other main setup CrowdControl, and they'll rely on Sound Barrier and the Sanctification to keep themselves alive. I think that's probably more likely to be the style of play we are seeing. But that is debatable, because we do see the fact that Legacy was the one playing Uther, who is usually the more protective support and is very, very good at it. So they could play a little bit more flexible there and maybe run a Judgment. Lucio, unfortunately, does not have a incredibly good hard engage tool. He could go Mixing Fire, I guess, at level 20, but if you're committing your engage to level 20, then that's a rough time, dog. However, the combo they have, everything is incredibly well sustained. The problem is, it's all very well sustained. The Lucio is an insane pick against the Malthael, but it's very reliant on landing that sound barrier and making sure they time it correctly. Mephisto is consistent harass. He's going to be able to spam inabilities over and over and over again. If they got the only way they could spam it more is if they went Alex Straza. But in this case, they just jump it. They're just going to jump in and siege people down. They want to force out his abilities first. This is why the Malthael is here. And that's going to allow Tychus and why the Mephisto is here. This is going to allow Tychus and Malthael to actually finish the job and take people out. It's a solid draft by Simplicity. The shielding is going to be really important for them. But I think in terms of actual draft control and potential to just poke people down force out abilities when they're not needed is leaning a little more in favor of CrowdControl. Simplicity, they have a really solid comp that could win this composition if they can keep up the burden of execution, which is much harder for them by staggering all of their protective abilities and knowing when to use them, when to back up, more importantly, so that they can play this effectively. Let's see who's going to come out on top as we head into game number 1 of this best of 5 series, ladies and gentlemen. On the left, seed number 1 in CCL group stage, it is CrowdControl. Fighting their way through the bracket from 6th place, it is Simplicity. Ready to put on the best performance they can to try and stay in the CCL. This is game number 1. We are underway. A silver touch on the Uther. No surprise there for Legacy. They want that protection. Want to make sure everything is safe. Quarterback for Tigers, you can see here, CrowdControl being very sensible. Their composition is strong, but the double support of Simplicity makes it very hard to get an early kill. So they don't contest the mid objective. Instead, they set up to soak all the lanes. There's always one team that in theory should have a better 5v5 fight in the middle of the map. And in theory, the other team should not do the 5v5 fight if there is a clear winner there. This, though, is what we are going to be seeing all game. Rutzau is going to burn through those health bars as quick as possible and going to leave room for Tychus to come in and try and force out those big abilities. Yes, this is fine during the mid part of the game, the mid-soak part, but this will change as the game goes on, once we actually have to be forced to stand on the objective. Cure, though, making the most of his hot pursuit level 1 to stay very mobile, stay very harassy, and put on some pressure there. Malthael versus Hogger in the bottom lane. Malthael does win this lane, but you can see there is a Lucio coming down to assist. This will force Quasar to back up at least a little bit, as camps are started for both teams. Loba doing what Johanna does best and being a little disruptive, poking in, fading an invasion. You see the rotation is forced out by Luciano and Hosty. Very well played there by CrowdControl, as they're able to pick up theirs as well. Quasar even coming out to assist with that. 6 stacks so far on Silver Touch. Doing a good job. The only stacking talent so far this game. Bones to Gnaw for Hogger. Standard build. We don't see any of the other builds these days, unfortunately. The bomb build looks fun. I'm sad we don't get to see it more. As we do see, the support camp is started. Hosty doing Lucio things, poking away, trying to create some pressure. Good knockback. There's the Kadema. Down goes Cure. Great dive. Valor is mobile, but she is made of paper and is going to be taken out. First blood goes to CrowdControl as Lauba going to be picking up that support camp. The Biotic Emitter coming in. Bigger they are for Tychus. No more stacking talents. Die alone for Malthael. Really wants to deal with that Hogger. So we see the objective getting ready to be started. There's the holy shock for Uther. Quasar needs to back up. You can see Legacy, very smart, moving in on a mount, of course. This is from its rotation. But the main thing with Tank Uther is you have to stay mounted as long as possible. You are not mobile. We all know this. The fact that you don't have any speed boost unless you take that talent is really hard to deal with. So you need to be mounted up as often as possible to give you the speed needed to get within stun range as an engaged tool. This is, of course, not main tank Uther, though it's less of a big deal, but he's still one of the best engaged tools for the team. Rutzau in a little bit of trouble here. Focus down, stunned out, sleep dart. The healing grenade is accidentally dodged by Rutzau. Mistakes were made. He teleported out right as the healing grenade came in, missed the healing, and the counter kill comes in for Simplicity. Able to set themselves up very nicely here. We're not seeing glow build for the Mephisto coming in at level 4. Mixing up his build a bit. This is not a very effective globe map, as we already mentioned, without Alex Straza at this stage. So seeing that makes a lot more sense. Lava takes a little bit of damage, but he's just protecting, buying time for Mephisto to return to the team, and for Malthael to keep soaking. What's up? Trying to harass, trying to poke people down. Good sleep dart. Has those night terrors now, so big percentage damage. Cure uncontested, but they are effectively ignoring Cure because they know that he isn't as much of a threat yet. So they're just going to deal with him. He does a lot of damage. Valor does a lot of damage, but she cannot wipe a team alone. She does need at least a little bit of help or some long periods of time to continuously land those multi-shots to maximize the damage output. Objective 33% to 0% right now in favor of CrowdControl. Plenty of time for Simplicity to step back onto the point, especially now that they have Swift Retribution and that Hand of Protection. Very effective here. A little bit of a step up, forcing Hogger to back up. He's just going to quickly Hogwild out of there. Mephisto, by the way, running that static barrier, so he is going, as we already mentioned, more Sustainy instead of the Spite, which is a more spam-focused build. We want to see Rutsao keeping himself alive. This is the way to do it. Valor with a very standard build. The multi-shot punishment is the big talent here. Arsenal for cooldown reduction is where Valor can get some serious value, especially on objective maps like this and Infernal Shrine. Sleep Dart is sidestepped by Cure. Objective stepped on 79 to 31%. Thank you for the follow, Rodo Nunez. As we do see Cure standing forward next to Rutsao, dodging away from that Lightning Nova as Dynout is forced back. They're still on the point. Malthael going to rotate in from bot lane using the conveyor belt. They're going to try and force Simplicity off. Both teams creeping towards level 10. They're still soaking. Tychus is still up in top lane. But now both teams, they do actually have to stand on the point. Level 10, a little bit closer for Simplicity. And they're going to get it via the mid lane, which means a slight timing advantage for CrowdControl. You immediately see that retreat. You do go for the Divine Shield and for Sanctification and Sound Barrier with Strafe for Valor. There's level 10 for the side of CrowdControl. They have a couple seconds to make it back onto the point. They can contest this. And we're going to see a 10 versus 10 fight. Durance of Hate. A pause comes in from CrowdControl. We'll wait to see what they can do upon the return. But yeah, you can see the heroics here. This nano boost coming in. The Blessed Shield. Durance of Hate. Even with all of those unstoppables, it's still good to burn out those abilities, and it can catch other people as well. And level 20, once you get that silencing one, is going to be the huge boost play. The Odin, still the standard talent these days. Went for Melting Point, by the way. Not going for any of that extra relentless soldier armor, which is the more Korean style. Don't need to do so, because the only real CC is Hogger and Uther here, so it's not too bad. And last rites, try and time it well, and again, try and force out Divine Shield. A lot of people may wonder, why would you Divine Shield versus a last rites? Why would you last rites against a Divine Shield? And the answer is cooldowns. The cooldown on last rites is a significant amount lower than Divine Shield. It just keeps getting lower, allowing you to trade abilities a little bit more effectively, which gives you a much better objective fight, allowing you to much better consistent engage and kill potential, forcing out that cooldown more often, meaning it's less available when it's more important. And the Nano Boost is still going to work with Malthael, even with a last rites. It's still going to chunk. It's still going to work on the Mephisto. It's still going to work on Tychus. It doesn't matter that they didn't go for the Tormented Souls. They still have a composition where this is going to work very, very well. Hoping that you all in the chat are doing well. I hope you're all having a wonderful night today. And thank you to everyone in the chat while we wait for the game to start back up again. A big thank you to everyone who voted for me in the CCL Awards. The short list votes are now in, and we made it into the top 4 co-streamers. Thank you so much for doing so. And it looks like you all voted for some really good choices when it came to the other awards as well. The poll for the shortlist is in the chat. This is the final awards poll. Or at least it will be when I copy the link correctly. There we go. Copy link. We're down to the final 4 for each category. So if you want to go there and check out those polls and maybe drop another vote for your boy Tetcher, and if not, there are some really good co-streamers in that group. I'm honored to be a part of them and honored that you guys have put so much support towards me. If you want to throw a vote my way, though, it'll be very appreciated. I really enjoy bringing this to you guys, and I really have been loving the support you have been showing. So, we're getting ready, hopefully soon. We obviously don't have access to chat, so we have no idea what's happening. There is a limit on voting Crescent method, and I believe if you vote multiple times, it will remove all votes. You cannot spam votes, as far as I am aware. I believe it will remove duplicates. I don't know if it removes the original if people do try to spam, but don't spam. It sucks anyway because it's vote manipulation, so try not to do that. If you want to throw in a vote, it's appreciated, but obviously don't mess with the system. So, we're getting ready to jump back into the game as soon as the players are ready. I have no idea what the delay is for. I'm going to try and catch up to the live stream quickly and see if everything's stabilized out. We'll give it a second. If not, it'll lag its way back to where it was originally. Yeah, the clean feed has been having a bit of a shocker today. We're dealing with what we have. All we can do is watch it. Yep, there we go. It's lagged out again. There it goes. Vote with your heart, Gromlin. I am not asking you to vote for me over what you choose. You vote for what you prefer and what you enjoy. I appreciate, though, that to be held in such esteemed company. Oh boy, yeah, there we go. There we go. We're bad times on the clean feed now. Okay, looks like we stabilized it again. Yeah, it was a big spinny circle for a while there. Clean feed is having a really, really bad time today. Again, that's appreciated. The fact that it is so hard for you is appreciated because it does make me feel good. But once you have the decision, I'm not going to feel bad. I don't even know if you vote for me or not. I'm not going to feel bad if you don't. I'm asking if people want to vote for me, that they do so. And if they don't want to vote for me, you vote anyway, because there's some really good players who deserve your appreciation. That poll reminded me that Hyde is a 6th player. I completely forgot. I was thinking of him as the main support for Sidestep Kings. And I was like, oh yeah, he's the 6th player. He's in the 6th player voting section, not the best main support voting section. And that's crazy to me. That blows my mind. Isn't that cool? Why is that on my clean feed? The other casters' names have shown up on my clean feed. What the hell? I'm pretty sure that's... Is that going to be there for a while? There we go. All right, they've gotten back to my screen. Yeah, that should not be on the clean feed. The whole point of a clean feed is it doesn't show stuff like that. That's not cool. Alrighty, so. But yeah, it looks like we've gone back to our main screen. We're waiting this out. It looks like there's some kind of issue. I'm jumping to the CCL room to see what's going on. Alright, there we go. Sorry, just replying. So, yeah, it looks like the other co-streamers are having issues with the clean feed. It's a bad time. Alrighty. Yeah, their support for most weeks. Hyde did play as their support more often than June did, is the play. Yes, sorry, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I misread your thing. So yeah, Hyde played support more, but technically he was picked 6th, which makes him in the 6th player pool. And that's mental to me, because I don't know if you guys watched the last week's games, but Hyde, even though his team lost, was a god. Absolute beast, and he has been all season. He is probably... And there are some really good other choices here, but I don't feel bad about saying I think Hyde is the best support in the world. I really do. I think he is the best support player in any region, and if we were playing on even ping, he could be even better. He's pretty freaking good. But hey, we deal with what we got. I voted for him in the 6th player list. There's still some good options there. So I hope you have a good... I hope whoever you vote for is a good choice, because they're all good choices. All the players in the top 4, there are none of them who I look at and be like, why are they there? What's going on? Everything's a good choice. Vote with your hearts or your heads, depending on what you prefer. But there's some good stuff. Also, the objectively best meme is if it's French, it goes on the bench. 100% is the best meme. I am down with that all the way because it is funny. And it felt bad during the draft show seeing Masquerade when these other tanks were being picked before him, and he's just sitting there just like, guys, hello? And then he does actually struggle at the start of the season, so everyone's just like, if it's French, it goes on the bench, pull Masquerade out, and then he comes back in on a new team and sweeps all the way through the gauntlet phase to come back and show us this, and he's in this game right now. Isn't that brilliant? If it's French, it goes on the bench. It's the objectively best meme, in my opinion. Hyde is in fact a god. I realized I have similar support playstyle to Hyde, and there's a reason I hit half the time in Grandmaster Storm League, whereas Hyde almost carries CCL games. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I understand that. There's so many differences. The biggest difference in the aggression that you see from pro games, this is a big issue with a lot of people in Storm League, just in general, like in random Storm League without premates. And there's the big issue of a lot of people see CCL playstyle and they play that aggressive. They play Lutano or Cure levels of aggressive. They play the flanking Cassia from Dynao. They play all that stuff. And that works in CCL, but there's one reason it works in CCL and why you will sometimes feed an int in ranked, and that is because it's CCL, the team knows what's going on, and they are following up on it and supporting that person to make sure they get the value. That hyper-aggressive tank play works in CCL because everyone else knows they're about to go in and is listening and have practiced it. In ranked, you just go in and your team has to wait like maybe half a second, maybe up to 2 seconds to be like, oh shit, he engaged, and follow up. That is a bad time. So they have to do that. It's a little bit shaky, but it's fun to see. That is the difference we see there, and that is why you do actually have to adjust your playstyle a little bit when you go to Storm League as compared to whether you're running into CCL, for example. And that's why you'll see them play different on their streams as well. It's cool to see. Okay, it looks like they're going to swap who's hosting the clean feed for the next game. So that's good news. We're still on a 10-second delay, right? And I'm going to have a peek on the main stream to make sure they're not in-game and they just haven't forgotten us. Apparently France has a power outage. Thank you very much. I was about to ask the main feed, like, what's going on. So that is thank you for the update there. That is appreciated. Is the main stream down? Is that a thing? No, it's up. It just wasn't showing on my thing. Wow, that's super weird. Alrighty. That was super weird for a bit there, but we're good. Okay, so yeah, the main stream's not in the game either. So yeah, France is apparently having a power outage. That is unfortunate. So I assume Masquerade is out. Is there anyone from France on Is there anyone from France on the main CrowdControl as well? Let's have a look. I don't think there is. I think they're all. I think they're spread amongst the German to Nords. Yep, Sweden, Denmark, Germany. Oh, Dequaza. Oh, so yeah, if there's 2 power cuts, then we're out 2 players. That's rough. Issue showing everything to your follow list. That makes sense as well. I just have it as a hidden scene in my OBS. So I can just go to studio mode and like have a little peek and see what's going on over there. It's what I use for map bans, which I forgot to do today. Oops. Mistakes were made. But yeah, I guess we'll wait and see what's going on. I wonder if I should message Jules and be like, hey, I'll message Jules, see if we can get any more information. Let's make a play. Let's try and reach out and be friendly. Sorry to bug you, but could I get a quick rundown of the delay for my audience, please? Cool. See if she replies. Worth a try. We're reaching out. We're trying to be friendly. And see if we can get you guys a little bit more information, see if there's anything that's known on that side that we do not know on this side. So here we go. Yep, there we go. People are still having issues. So yeah, I guess we wait now. Wait for the main thing. Tell you what, I'll start a poll. Let's do it. We're partway through the game. Let's start a poll. See if we can find out, see if we can choose who's going to win. New poll. Who will win Game 1? Simplicity or CrowdControl? Oh, I'm hearing sounds. Oh, crap. We're in game. Hang on. Start poll. 3 minutes to go. 3-minute poll. Let's go. We're in the game. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We're in. Alrighty, 93% on the objective. Masquerade's going to try and step up. Simplicity moving in. Legacy holding the overtime. He stuns in. Masquerade keeping that overtime running. The strafe comes in quite early here. Only really damage is dying now. Larva takes a little bit. They've still got their biotic emitter. No real damage is dealt to that. They take the fight to it. Cure sidesteps the sleep dart. They're tapping this overtime over and over again. Hogger in position to dive. They've waited out the Odin. That's the main play here. Burning through that cooldown. And they do force the retreat out of CrowdControl. But CrowdControl, they're just going to reset up. Both teams only burning one heroic. Strafe, though, is a longer cooldown here. Sorry, a shorter cooldown here than Odin, so Strafe is back up in 20 seconds. But here comes CrowdControl. Again, they still have the biotic emitter, still ready to fight as they force their way forward. Durance comes out, completely wrecks Vala. Sound Barrier comes out, Divine Shield having to be used as well. Tychus looking low, but Dino is able to escape. Loba holding on the point, using the biotic emitter as Rutzau does huge damage to Cure on the backline. Dayquaza ready to step forward, still has last rights held, waiting for his opportunity. Overtime ticking down, and Simplicity force everyone off the point. And they're able to win the fight. The call from the chat that the sustain might be too much for CrowdControl at this stage is working out in their favor for now. Unable to break through the consistent sustain and survivability talents of Simplicity. There's a stutter. You guys are seeing a stutter? I am not seeing a stutter at the moment, so sorry to see that. Sorry to hear that. It's work. That might be on my side then. I'll keep an eye out. I was also like very much trying to just observe everything, so I didn't see as much. But it looks like we're in. Looks like we're good. Let me know if a stutter continues and what kind of stutter you are seeing. Dayquaza chased down by Cure, really putting on a play. Putting on some aggression. Unless you mean the actual clean feed stutter, where everything has been lagging all day, if you're just going for the general stutter, because that's what we've been having as a big thing. Alrighty, they're going to try and creep forward. Not going to work out. The retreat shall be done. Move in by Simplicity to try and take their own biotic emitter. Even with CrowdControl having their biotic emitter, they were unable to sustain through Simplicity, and Simplicity using Strafe again. They force back the members of CrowdControl, and their draft is working very well. Hyper sustainability really working out here, even with the anti-healing from two sources. They have a lot of anti-healing, but not a lot of anti-shielding. Very interesting. Thank you for the 10 bits donated to the poll, because it looks like Simplicity have won the poll with 100% of the votes. Simplicity right now, who are holding the lead. A well-timed voting there. We're going to be seeing a Shard of Hate. Going to be coming in for Mephisto. This, of course, triggers the Lord of Hatred. This is what allows Mephisto to spam on non-globe-centric maps. Very effective at spamming your abilities on objective fights. This will give a lot of damage to Mephisto, who will likely either be going for Static Field or Animosity. On the next tier, Hortapult onto Dayquaza. Strafe with the roll into the terrain. And Dayquaza will be picked off. The race forward. Great stun coming out from Lutano as bot lane is going to be sieged in. Lalba is going to take the long way around. Not worth the fight here because he just got a little bit zoned away. Big fight win coming in for Simplicity, who are beginning to snowball ahead. 2 kills to 1. Won the first objective. Have taken down 2 forts in the first objective of the game. Lutano really, really solid on this Hogger, as we do see Siege Camp, going to be taken by Simplicity. Nothing like that currently available for CrowdControl. They grabbed theirs earlier. It will need to be clear. It will need to wait for the respawn time before it is available again. Simplicity painting the map red right now. They've taken almost every objective, every mercenary. Siege Camp still not up yet for CrowdControl, as they do have to defend against Simplicity. Moving to the point. 2 minutes left for their Siege Camp. Shroud of Wisdom coming in for Dayquaza here. Using that sustain. Cure. Another early strafe really being used as a zoning tool as well, just trying to weaken people down so that they can't fight as much. It's not the longest cooldown, it's only a minute, so Cure very happy to use this just whenever it's available. Manticore as well now means Cure going to be able to eat through Lauber a little bit more effectively. Sleep Dart comes out, hits Tyrael, the dive is deep, Soundbarrier comes out, and Hungering Arrow takes down the Ana. And a big engage onto Lauber. Lauber's down 2. Down goes Tychus as well. A triple kill for the side of Simplicity. They're going to take down the fort and begin sieging the keep. Rutzau is all that is left, clearing this out as CrowdControl are on the back foot. And this is the Simplicity that we saw in the previous week's games as they crushed their way through, taking out everything on this keep. A 11-minute keep, just short of a 12-minute keep. They are dominant. They take the keep down. Objective is up, meaning in theory, if they get a team wipe with this objective, they could go straight to core. We'll likely see CrowdControl play a little more passively because of that. Try and clean out this protector from a distance so that they try and force a mistake out of Simplicity. But Emitter going to be taken for Simplicity. They now have 2, grabbing themselves a turret. Simplicity. Dominance right now. Animosity. Extra generation on Lightning Nova, and the maximum bonus damage is now 42% for Mephisto. This will help a lot on dealing with those squishier backliners. But the Gloom for Vala going to make this a little bit harder. Rutsa really needs to be careful where he stands. Bless Shield dodged out, but now they know that cooldown is down. They're still looking to invade in. Tychus coming in from the side. Durance catches the backline, catches Uther. Point being controlled. Last rights. Divine Shield is to protect the sound barrier. Not getting a huge amount more value. Sank is burned, and the objective is won. But Rutzau does a lot of damage on the way out. They're really committed to this, making the most of the cooldown reduction, but Rutzau is too low. Lauber has maybe stepped up a bit too far, takes a huge amount of damage, stunned from Legacy, and that's going to be the kill. X-Ray in trouble, stun not landing from Lutano, and everyone else makes it behind the wall. An insane fight, but the sustain again, too much from Simplicity as they crush their way through, looking for keep number 2. They did burn every single one of their items, but it's not stopping them. They step up, Hogger goes deep, they take out Tychus, Dynao is down, Rutzau comes back in to try and hold as X-Ray looks to heal, but down goes Rutzau. That's so much to sustain. Lutano is forced back, but Dayquaz is getting targeted by the ranged heroes. The core is under attack. Cannonbolts coming in from the top lane. Dayquaza trying to hold. Ana looking for that Sleep Dart cooldown to try and hold them together as the core is dropping. They still have Strafe. They still have Hornipult. Dayquaza is zoned away. Respawn time is coming out. Lauber coming in to try and delay this. The team is splitting, but they're going to get hit by the multi-man blind. Catapult has yet to reach the core. Hosty keeping everyone topped up. X-Ray comes in. Dayquaza already taken down. And with that, with 2 catapults on the core, game 1 goes over to Simplicity. Very nicely done, Simplicity, with the hyper-sustained composition, are able to come out ahead in game number 1. And they take the lead in this series. CrowdControl really dunked on. Very, very nicely done. The CC disrespectfully gave it to them. CrowdControl, they do one thing well. To be fair, Jinxie, the draft was 100% focused on banning out stuff that Simplicity do. They banned out the Cassia, they banned out the Zeratul, they banned out so much of the stuff that we've seen them run. Every single ban from CrowdControl, and most of their picks were stealing stuff that Simplicity have run before. The Malthael Ana was stolen once Uther was on board. They really put in the effort. Simplicity just outplayed them, swapped up their draft, and put on a beautiful performance. That sound barrier was the big play there. Anti-heal coming in was a clutch idea from CrowdControl, but okay, that's all we're getting. The shielding from that sound barrier was so clutch to give them time to activate a lot of those cooldowns. That was really impressive. Very, very nicely done. Very nicely done. I 100% get where you're coming from there, Jinxie, because that was just a Simplicity draft. It was exactly what they've run before, despite the best efforts of CrowdControl. It was really nicely done. Okay. It looks like they're going to try and just muscle through with the lag and just deal with it. Thank you very much. Ooh, I am handsome in this shirt. It's true. Also humble. But That's game number 1, going over to the side of Simplicity. Very nicely done indeed. Really putting on the strength with their main comp. I think, despite the fact that CrowdControl would try to be smart and just let them have the Uther needs to make it into those top bans. They banned out Zeratul, and they banned out... What was ban 2? I don't remember what ban 2 was. Anyone got that for me? Anyone remember that information? Because I am forgetting it. Excuse me. But it was Zeratul, and then it was Chromie. Yes, because the side of Simplicity, they banned out Cassia and Medivh. So, yes, they banned those out. The Chromie was smart as well, because Hosty dunked on that. But yeah, I think it's probably worth replacing that Chromie, even though it's so good with Uther. Because that is so much of the compositions that we see from Simplicity. Alright, that map pick was Simplicity's. Next map will be Dragonshire, also picked by Simplicity, with Simplicity so far banning out Dragonshire, and of course CrowdControl removing Garden of Terror. Oh no, sorry, Dragonshire was picked here, so it was Battlefield banned out by Simplicity, and Garden was banned out by CrowdControl. So there we go, we figured it out. We've learned how to read bans. Feels good. What a performance though. Insane play so far from the side of Simplicity. CrowdControl really just thrown for a loop. Simplicity have received the playoff buff, apparently. Something usually saved for other games, but in this case, Simplicity are the ones to absolutely be running it, and they look unstoppable. I'd love to see Uther make it into that ban phase to get rid of it and just adjust from there. Double support seems to be a huge thing that Simplicity are really having a good time with, so getting rid of that would be good. We'll see. We'll see if that is the play that is made as we prepare to head into it. I'm going to start a poll. Who will win game 2? Simplicity. Yeah, spelled right, right? Yeah, spelled right. Or CrowdControl. We have a draft. I will put this on a 5-minute timer so you guys can get most of the draft with it. Start poll and dropping us into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how this goes as we head in for game number 2. Once again, we are currently watching on a delay because the CCL clean feed is absolutely dying today. So we are watching on a little bit of a delay. That is why we are a bit more behind the mainstream than usual. Apologies for that, but it's the only way I can get you a watchable quality. Let's get this going. Zeratul banned out once again. I love that. Let's see that Uther ban. React CrowdControl. This is obviously a map where the double support can struggle a little bit more, but it's still so strong. There it is. CrowdControl, they react. They take the Uther out of contention. Medivh has been left up. There we go. Simplicity will take that out of action. So now Cassia is up. Chromie is up. So many of those great options have been left available. Tychus still available. What do CrowdControl choose to prioritize? Where do they go? I think it's likely to be one of the assassins. They choose Tychus. Didn't work out for them last game, but they're still happy to run it again. So then, with Tychus as the first pick, Simplicity again. Chromie and Cassia both available. Stukov still available. With Uther taken out, Stukov very much jumps up a little bit in priority here. There's that Cassia, and they take Johanna away from Lauber. Johanna has been a big crutch for the side of CrowdControl in a lot of these games. In fact, it is that she is their most picked hero. 12 games played. The only hero to come close to that is Sylvanas. We're going to see the Diablo and Stukov coming in. They have played Diablo before the season, of course. Only 3 games on Lauber for that Diablo. But he has a 100% win rate on it. This is the 4th game. Can he keep up that winning spree? The Stukov, of course, very standard support these days. 60% win rate over 10 games played. for the side of X-Ray on that support. They bat out the Zarya, learning from their mistakes last time they went against CrowdControl. They love that Zarya to sneak in there against certain compositions, so they remove it from play. The sneaky feel the heat style for CrowdControl, learning from where a lot of their players came from. We're going to be seeing the Brightwing taken out. Brightwing will be very strong with this. The burst healing for the Cassia would be very, very good. Simplicity now. They pick up the Chromie as well, getting priority on all of those assassins, and they're going to get Decade Kane as their main support here. Decade very strong, good zoning potential for the objective. Great backline healing potential. Johanna, very independent tank. Not going to need as much help, so this is why Decade can now focus on Cassia and on Chromie. CrowdControl now need an offlaner, and they need a second damage dealer or a third bruiser. They go for the Sonya and Hanzo. Very standard drafts for them. The Sonya coming in for that top lane control. One of the hardest heroes to beat. Malthael will, of course, counter this quite well, assuming he can dodge the spears. Hanzo coming in as the main assassin. Great control over that bottom objective. Great long-range harass. Potentially even more percentage damage to try and deal with that Johanna. And a lot of either zoning potential or crowd control with either of those heroics. Simplicity now. We're going to see the Dehaka. Interesting. Not going with an immediate counter for Sonya. Instead, going for something that will help on the map a lot more. Going for a little bit of rotational ability. Choosing to win the 5-man as opposed to letting his team win the 4-man and trying to take the 1v1. Very interesting, very cool. Always nice to have a global when your opponent does not. It gives you great map control, great map potential, great to see. Absolutely lovely. So, we're going to be getting ready to jump into game number 2 as soon as possible, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be getting on with that shortly, and after that, apparently, there will be a break where they're going to try and swap the clean feed over, so if it looks worse after the break, I'm sorry, I have no control over this. We'll just have to deal with what they give us, unfortunately. So, in the meantime, that poll should be coming to a conclusion pretty shortly. Yep, it's about to end. Last chance to get your votes in. Vote for Simplicity or Crowd Control before the timer runs out. Who do you think is going to win? And the poll is over. 100% again going to Simplicity with 20 bits thrown in for a little bit of extra voting. So Simplicity win 100% to 0. Let's see if they can do it in game number 2. But on the right, seed number 1, it is Crowd Control coming in with the Hanzo this time and Simplicity. So many of those hyper high priority heroes, the Cassia, the Chromie, they are Simplicity. They're ready to try and continue their playoff run with the playoff buff. And they're ready to head on in. Hold your ground for Johanna. A little bit of extra unstoppable there to get that cooldown reduction. And a little bit of extra shield. Great against Diablo, gives you a much easier time. Charge strikes for Lutano. And for a more auto-attack focused build here, does not want to try and out-poke a Hanzo. Wants to keep the aggression going. Cure in position. Looks forward, does not land the drag. Loba dancing the other way, but Lutano able to do quite a lot of damage. Counter damage dealt, though, by the side of Dai now. Chasing down Lutano. There's the charge. Loba going very deep. Takes a lot of damage, and Loba goes down. Went too deep there. X-ray sniped by Hosty. And that is first, second, and can they make it third? Yes, they can. Third blood going over to Simplicity. 3-0 in the first minute of the game. Crowd Control are falling apart right now as Simplicity smash them at every single turn. Simplicity with an insane lead right now. They hold an over half-level lead in the first minute. They're going to start on their siege camp, getting the value there, make sure they lose nothing. You can see, though, Dehaka has had to burn Fountain. He does lose versus Sonya in lane. Sonya, by the way, go for the War Paint. Sustain, surprise cure, exactly what we called. Going in for the 5v4 instead of trying to win the 1v1. They already take out Loba. X-Ray holding the point, gets that reactor. Ballista Pulse focus down, a lot of damage taken out, backs away. That's going to be a 1-for-0. No one else will drop. The channel will take a lot of damage, but he will not go down. Another trade in favor of Simplicity. They were able to grab the siege cap as well. They siege in. They get control of top. Control of bot. Dahaka running to top to take control there. Sonya's on the way up as well. Yeah, Sonya with Warpaint going for a little bit more sustain this time. Not full slam build. Perhaps we'll even see her lean more of the Whirlwind way. We'll have to see. Top in control of crowd control. They're even going to try and grab bot as well. It is spotted by the Time Walker's pursuit. You can see Cure making his way towards the point. Looks like he was maybe considering to go for it. You see he was preparing for his burrow charge, his brush stalker. See if he can make it in. Both objectives channeled right now by crowd control, but no one heading mid for the point. Lolba zoning away as here comes the 4-man rotation out of Simplicity. Look for Lolba. Can't do it. But it's giving a chance for crowd control, who are still soaking all the lanes right now, to try and get themselves back into this game. Lolba going deep, finds Legacy, but Legacy is saved by the stun of Masquerade. Lolba's in a little bit of trouble now, focused down by Lutana, but died out, doing the counter damage. Lolba eats a lot of hits from Chromie, but tanks through. He's gone for that. He's gone for that feast on fear. No soul shield, so he's just going to have to eat all that damage from Hosty and land those stuns. Gone for a charge-based build, not going to go for the sustain, so he's got armor this time. Not sustaining auto attacks because he's against the blinds of the Cassia and the Johanna. The auto attack build would be rough. That extra armor from the charge might help him out. Makes his way onto the point. He's in range of Time Trap, just moves out of it. But if he tries to retreat, could be in trouble. Trying to bait it, Time Trap replaced, and yep, he's been left on the point alone, feast on fear, giving himself a little bit of sustain, but he's focused down. Minion charge to escape, and Dragon Knight snuck away there. Nicely done. That is going over to the Sonya. No, sorry, it's going over to Hanzo. Gonna be seeing Rutzel picking that up. Drag onto Dayquaza, who eats 2 out of the 3 Dragon Breaths, takes a big chunk of damage as the Dragon Knight rushed top lane. The lane that Sonya is winning in terms of most of the trades. Lava, though, once again a little bit caught out of position, will be picked off here. Cure has burrowed down. Bot gets the drag onto X-Ray, who is in full retreat. No reactive ballista balls are burned, though, but the counter push with this Bruiser Camp in bot is causing problems. Melting Point just picked up for Tychus, which will help him with the lane clear to maybe save them. Good lurking arm, buys them some time. They try to focus Cure. Not enough. Drag onto Sonya, the counter engage from Lutano to do the damage. Sonya is spinning, trying to stay alive here, really focusing onto Cure. Dragged in once again. That cooldown reduction on the Dahaka is too good. The Feeding Frenzy really setting them up here. Dragon Knight has expired. It killed the fountain down there. Big charge from Lolba. Overpower interrupted by Condemn. There's the drag onto Diablo. Grenade shuts it down. With Hosty arriving, though, any re-engage has been shut down with those slowing sands. Lolba eats a lot of damage and is forced to back away. Even when they win something, Simplicity, even when they win something, crowd control are still shut down by Simplicity. The Dragon Knight got some damage top lane, but way more damage was done bot lane. Malevolence for Diablo, really going all in on a damage-focused build here. We already mentioned the Feeding Frenzy coming in for the Dahaka, keeping himself alive there. Mystical Spear. Poison Spear for the Sonya. Got my spears mixed up there. The level 4 is a little bit interesting. The Shot of Fury here, getting a little bit of crit auto attacks. And a little bit of a more solid 1v1 build. The crit auto attacks will, of course, help out with that Warpaint to try and sustain against Dahaka in a 1v1 style. Bot is dying. Straight up. Not much you can do about that. They're just sacking it. Top lane is getting pushed in as a response. They're going to try and get a fort of their own, but Simplicity are still going. There's the Valkyrie onto Lolba, stunned, rooted, and dunked on. The power of Simplicity as they pick up yet another kill. They're going to grab at least a tower here. Sonya is rushing top lane, really trying to get some counter value up here. Dahaka makes it up there. Will he be able to hold the lane as Sonya rushes it down? The Bruiser Camp is helping out, and it looks like top fort will fall. Finally, some counter value is acquired by crowd control, but they've lost most of their front wall doing that. It's going to be a Dragon Arrow build for the Hanzo this time. They really need some counter engage. This makes a lot of sense. Wrath of the Berserker. Sonya needs to be doing back damage onto that backline. That stun cooldown reduction is gonna help a lot. really going to let them take better engages and let Sonya bully that backline a little bit more. Bruiser Camp being started by Simplicity. They want value top now. The Bruiser Camp of CrowdControl is about to expire to the minion wave. Bot will be channeled. They're in fact going to try and go in the mid lane. They forced Johanna out, but Dahaka is on top. It will not be in time. He will save the Dragon Knight. Dequaza not channeling fast enough because they did not have control of bot quick enough. It's a 1-for-1 trade on objectives. Bruiser Camp pushing in the top lane. Time Trap finds... Oh, they time it wrong! Valkyrie and Bless Shield comes out. The isolation dodged as well. They still get the drag. Dragon Arrow comes out. Stuns out to Hugger to counter charge. Onto Cassius, stunning her through. Stay a while and listen. Lutano barely surviving. The Odin available to dodge the sleep. And X-Ray is left all alone. That is a huge kill coming in. Chromie's in timeout to buy time. Cure is now the one person they can reach. Try and kill it. Dequaza comes in from the side to make that a 1-for-1. Cassius running onto the point of Cycus is going to try and sneak the Dragon Knight, but it's going to be too late. Lutano will shut it down. A 1-for-1 trade as CrowdControl. They're able to get a fight. Great stay a while from the Decade, but Cure did not get out of the position, the risky position quick enough, and was punished very heavily for it, going down. And of course, Stukov, the only person on CrowdControl without any kind of escapability, got absolutely dunked on. Really rough time due to the hard push engage of Simplicity, who are taking the bottom Bruiser Camp. The only mercenary left on the map right now. They capitalize. Level 13 advantage. Sonya is very quickly soaking up top lane, doing everything she can to get her team level 13 as well. Lolba, X-Ray, and Rutsa will start on this camp, but here comes Simplicity. Massive shove. Pushes Masquerade back a little bit. Let's see what they can do. No escape for Sonya. Bless Shield over the wall. Dragon Arrow catches Chromie. Counter engage from Loma. Big stunts. Here comes Dequaza. A huge whirlwind. Stay a while. Buys time. Catches 3 members. X-Ray in the slowing sands. Valkyrie in. Focus down. But taken out by Tychus. That is an X-Ray down and a Chromie down. They're going to try and get the captain kill. After kill, they get him again. Making this a 2-for-2. Diablo has already respawned thanks to Souls. He is now Paper Diablo. But finally, again, CrowdControl. They take an even fight, but they lost the camp and they have lost map control, having to deal with that bot lane push. They've got to make their way onto that bottom objective to cap it, to equal out the point here, or at least take the fight in mid. Lutano showing up in top lane, going to clean that out, keep his team sustained. Legacy will be the one to grab that Sun Shrine. Hanzo will grab bottom Moon Shrine, which will prevent any Dragon Knights going over to Simplicity. CrowdControl, they are behind, but they're not going down without a fight here. It's 3 kills to 10 in favor of Simplicity. And CrowdControl, they're only half a level behind. This is possible. This is doable for them. Bruiser Camp being taken. Sonya getting closed in on very hard. Can she get out? Dahaka even burrowing in. Brushstalker for the instate. Drops the Wrath of the Berserker. Whirlwinding through, but the anti-healing from the Emerald is good, though. And that shuts down the kill. They're still going to try and take the fight. Down a member. They look for Legacy with a huge focus. Valkyrie onto Stukov. X-Ray's in trouble again. Pulled in by the Valkyrie and taken out. Stay a while shuts down the escape. And Lauba is taken down. And Simplicity absolutely smashed that fight. 3-for-0. They take a huge fight. They capture top. They're heading bot. This is going to be a Dragon Knight going over to Simplicity as they took something big there. Lutano dodging away from Die now. Dino takes quite a bit of counter damage. Nicely done. That extra range Lutano now has from the Gloves of Alacrity and that martial law really putting on the pressure to the members of CrowdControl. These Valkyries have been on point, catching X-Ray basically every single time. Cure gets the Dragon Knight for his team. And CrowdControl are on the defensive. Simplicity clearing out the Siege Giants. Getting a little bit of extra value there. Dragon Knight, good damage onto the mid lane. CrowdControl making the most of the big they are. Burn through a big chunk of that Dragon Knight health. Dequaza even coming in. Scatter Arrow could have been a little bit better. Bless Shield is burned. Valkyrie onto Lauba, who's focused down. A lot down he goes. The distraction Bless Shield in this case. Lauba down, moving the main engage tool of CrowdControl. Simplicity make their way, but they've got a Siege Giant and still have a Dragon Knight as they look to take themselves the keep. Pushing in aggressively. They try to take control. Dequaza Wrapping around from the side. Dragon Knight expires. Massive shove. Takes Johanna very out the fight. Good drag, but Wrath gets Dayquaza out of danger. That could have been real rough if she hadn't had Wrath on the Berserker active when that drag came in. But they are alive. Diablo is back on 37 souls. Scatter Arrow sees everything. Masquerade zones away. Diablo is on the way. As I said, they may try and contest this. Minions see everything. Slowing Sands on the point. They back up. It looks like CrowdControl will be allowed to take their own camp with level 16s available. Rampage for Sonya, really going high on the damage. With that Poison Spear, they may even go for Composite Spear at level 20. Big stun to Cure, not in position to follow up for the engage. Simplicity, they take their own Bruiser camp, going for the safe choice here. They know they're ahead. More than happy to wait out for another fight they could take in their favor. Fanaticism for that Johanna on level 16, keeping her mobile, keeping her fast. The extra drag range, the elongated tongue for the Dahaka really helping out. Chromie hits level 18, her heroic talent, her Storm tier talent. Which one is she going for? The extra Slowing Sands, spell armor reduction. The Piercing Sands. It is Piercing Sands. No Blessing of the Bronze. Never Blessing of the Bronze, even though it's a fun talent. They're going to try and focus onto the Johanna here. Masquerade flees for his life. Good damage from Dayquaza. Dragon Arrow, and that's a commitment. They pick up a kill. Counter drag onto Loba, but no Valkyrie in range this time. CrowdControl actually getting a pick of their own for once. They're out of minions to push with. Another wave is on the way, but it's going to be cleared out so freaking quickly. They're going to head top instead, going to try and save their fort and seize control up there. They've created enough pressure on bot lane to buy themselves some time before more catapults come in, as we see them make their way up. Dayquaza and X-Ray going to be the ones to try and deal with this. Dealing with the mage first. Remove that spell armor. Cassia currently chilling in mid lane in a safe position. Doesn't want to get caught out of position. Piercing arrows for the Hanzo. You can see that armor piercing rounds for the Tychus, really going all in on that damage. Great burrow from Cure, but they're still going to try and engage onto him. Huge damage. Time Trap buys time. Apoc comes out. Big stun onto the Dahaka, who's tanking through. Finally taken out, but stay one. This is for the counter engagement. The Blessed Shield, Dragon Arrow to buy time, but Lava's already taken out. The CC trade on Dayquaza is too much. 2 for 1 in favor of Simplicity, but Diablo is already back soulless. But that's going to be level 20. That's likely going to be a Dragon Knight, and it's likely going to be CrowdControl in a rough position. But Diablo is on the way. They're committing to sustaining and defending this despite being down 20s. Big Bruiser camp up in top lane forces the reaction from Simplicity, meaning they can't contest bot. This gives time. CrowdControl making the most of it. They soak as fast as they can. Diablo soaking mid lane. Everyone else pushing in bot. They need 20 until Sonya gets back. They have to make sure they are on an equal tier to make sure that they can contest. They hold through. You can see now it's contagion for Diablo. Going to make it so much harder for CrowdControl to take these fights. They back away, avoiding the hard engage there. That was very close. The Radiating Faith, respect the elderly. Going to be so rough for anyone to deal with here. That extra silence. There's so much CC, so many silences now available for Simplicity on huge AoEs. If they split, respect the elderly. If they group, potential contagion. They are in trouble. This is not a situation they're going to be wanting to fight into. Cassia going with the Titan's Revenge, ignoring armor. And 20% extra damage. Lava, take it out early once again. Even the play of the game from Rutzau cannot get him in range in time. Diablo down, no souls this time. He will not be returning. No resurrections. Simplicity, they are going to take control. Although Johanna, little bit late, accidentally stopped her rotation, slowing down that Dragon Knight capture. Maybe a bit of a misplay by Masquerade. They're going to go in. They see Masquerade up in top lane. They're going to try and contest the bot lane to deny the Dragon Knight. There's the double channel. No one's in position. Dayquaza will take control. Cure coming in. Johanna not here. There's a 4v4, potentially the best chance that CrowdControl have, but they can't find the angle. And that's going to allow Johanna to make her way in, and this will be the Dragon Knight going over to Simplicity. We do see a composite spear for that Sonya. Our prediction was right on that. Big red button. The Hell Gate And the top-up for Stukov, really trying to keep his team alive. Top-up and Super Strain. Really all in on trying to keep everyone up. They're going for core. No keep attempts here. CrowdControl, they're going to have to defend on core. Simplicity, they want to end here and now. Their main engage tool is in the Dragonite, but of course the second that Dragonite pops, that's the engage they could use to finally full team wipe. Fountain 1 down. Simplicity's Hosty sieging away at Fountain number 2. It's the core they go for. Tychus knocked into base. Dragonite begins. Here comes the Apoc engage. Lutano dodges. Able to stay alive. Slowing Sands onto the Diablo, taking a huge amount of damage, but the core is going down. Die now. Getting focused here. The Dragonite is getting damaged by Grutzau, who dodges out the way of the Valkyrie, but the Dragonite is untouched. And Simplicity take game number 2. And they are 1 game away of knocking CrowdControl into the lower bracket. An impressive performance from Simplicity, taking a solid lead in this series. Their run through the playoffs is not a fluke. They're taking down the number 1 seed. And CrowdControl are starting to look a little shaky. Simplicity picking up win after win. Nothing can stop them. CrowdControl are going to have to pull off quite a performance to bring their way back into the series. You can see at the end here, the talents, those double silences at the end didn't even matter. They got 1 Respect the Elderly off in terms of team fights. Everything else was just won by walking the Dragonite at core. Lutano staying mobile, running away from Larva the second he was charged to make sure he wasn't flipped into Apocalypse, which could have maybe turned that game on its head. But even if they killed the Dragonite, a Radiating Faith would have come out from Johanna, and they could have been womboed to death. Another insane play by Simplicity. Really dominant, really in control of that game. And with that, the lead goes over to Simplicity, 1 game away from moving on in the bracket, which you can now see here. CrowdControl versus Simplicity. Winner moves on to the winners final, to play against either Wildheart Esports or Oxygen. That's the series that will be coming up later today after this series concludes, which in theory could be within 1 game. Next week, we will have losers round 1, which will be the loser of this series versus the loser of tonight's second series. And we will have the winners finals. And on the final day, the final week of CCL, we will have the losers finals. Okay, the winner of loser round 1 and the loser of winners finals. And then the winner of that will go on to play the team that has made it into the grand finals. As the losers bracket and the winners bracket, winners will face each other in the grand finals. So there could easily be rematches of any point in this phase. Good to see. Except for losers round 1. Impossible to have a rematch of that. And I guess losers finals. Alrighty. So, we're going to be getting ready. It looks like they have, in fact, shut down the clean feed to try and reset it and move us to another one. So we'll jump back to me while they do that. Yep, I can see that. I saw they've shut it down completely. So I will keep an eye on that. Yeah, they're swapping hosts. The feed will reset. Please stand by. Thank you very much for the update. Alrighty. Ow. Ow. So, already, Simplicity are doing better than they did the last time they played against CrowdControl. CrowdControl won in a 3-0 last time. So Simplicity have already done infinitely better than they did last time. In the pre-season, in the Icebreaker tournament, these two teams did not play against each other. Just the fact that CrowdControl and Simplicity were on opposite sides of the bracket, with CrowdControl beating Wild Hearts, Sidestep Kings, and 30k to win the entire thing. On the other side of the bracket, Simplicity, they lost 2-1 to 30k, a team that they have already vanquished in a 3-0, putting on quite the performance. It was extra spicy. It was pretty decent. With that, right now, Simplicity are in the position to potentially go all the way. Their meta running into these playoffs seems to be so much stronger than everyone else's. As a reminder, everybody, if you are enjoying today's show, please consider dropping a subscription or a donation via bits. I am having a lovely time casting these games for you, but I am not sponsored by any of these folks. I am not sponsored by anyone except for these lovely folks, the people who subscribble and donate. We're at 69 subs. This one expired during the stream, which is a nice amount, but a nicer one would be 100. We're aiming for 100 subs every single month, so we're going to just try and keep it nice and stable, which will give me enough to at least afford some food. I'll have to make the rest through Fiverr, but it's a nice setup. So that's our goal. If you want to help out for that goal, then help me get those numbers in. Just from 100 subs a month, I can barely afford to get by. If you want to help us get more, superb. But no one is paying me to do this except for all you wonderful people. So if you want to support, thank you for doing so. You can also support by hitting the donation links via Streamlabs, which means Twitch doesn't take as much as with bits, which would be quite nice. And you could also help out by buying some merchandise in the stream below, or by becoming a member on YouTube. A Twitch sub's too expensive for you? Then pay only as low as 99 cents per month by becoming a member on my YouTube. YouTube.com/Tetcher, and just hit the membership button. I am preparing some content specifically for YouTube. It's not ready yet, but I'm going to try and make some. And that will only be available for members. So make sure that if you want to head over there and support me there, then that is a lovely way to do so. And thank you very much. It's a much cheaper way to do so as well, so it is very nice of people who decide to do it. So, I'm just going to quickly refresh, see if we have our clean feedback. Play. Nope, it's a video now. I suppose they're probably going to have to change the link, aren't they? That would be smart, wouldn't it? Alright, so we'll keep an eye out. Wait for that clean feed to refresh. Yeah, thank you all for watching. If you want to support, it would be appreciated, because I can't do this without your support. Simple as. All right, give us that new clean feed link, please. Get us on board, fam. Get us on board. All right, well, yeah, we're going to have to wait for them to finish that up and get it in. They were pretty late delivering it today as well because of these technical issues. They've been working really hard trying to get this sorted, which is really, really nice of them. Speaking of us co-streamers having to use the clean feed, if you are enjoying tonight's show, then not only can you consider dropping a sub or dropping a donation, or at least following so you know when I'm going live, maybe consider voting for me in the CCL poll. There is the CCL Awards coming up, and I made it into the shortlist for the top 4 of CCL co-streamers. I'm with some insanely good company, but if you enjoyed the show and you haven't voted yet, maybe jump in and have a vote. There's some great players who deserve your votes as well, and of course, the meme of the season, which is one of my favorite categories. If it's French, it stays on the bench. It's the clear winner because Masquerade is dunking on fools, and that is the toppest of memes. So hell yeah. Vote for what you like, vote for what you love, and yeah, show your support. The players deserve it, the co-streamers deserve it, and yeah, it's nice to see something like that being made for CCL. So, we're still waiting for our new clean feed to materialize, and then hopefully we can jump in with game number 2. Let's see what's going on. We don't have anything yet. Yeah, we got to wait out a little bit, unfortunately, because right now they literally need a new link for us, so there's not a huge amount we can do yet. Justing's meta sneak is a good one. I do like that. That is a good meme as well. I'm just a big fan of if it's French, it stays on the bench because of the justice that came from that. Masquerade getting picked like in the last rotation for tanks, and then pop it up in the getting picked in the last rotation, and they're getting kicked from his team as a tank, swapped to another team. That second team then absolutely dunking on everyone in the playoffs, including the team that he was dropped from to make it to this point where he's now 2-0 up in playoff round 1. Ain't it bloody lovely? Brilliant to see. To me, that's top kek. That is Pog champion. Big fan of that. I love it. Masquerade's brilliant anyway, so always a fan. He do the dunks. And there's a bit old swish on the way. Ignore my basketball form. It is not good. It's not very good at all. I'm literally just filling time, obviously, while we wait for the mainstream to fix everything, because it's broken. This is the worst it's been all season, which is saying a lot. They've actually not done too bad. We've had some pretty bad quality, but this is the most technical issues we've had with a clean feed so far. So hopefully, We won't. Hopefully this will just fix everything and it will all be good. Unfortunately, it's on the last rounds. There's still another week. There's still another week. Where do you vote for me? There's a link that I just put in, the Twitter poll there. If you click on that, you will see that there is a poll in the links. It should start with wisdom, aka wisdom with no vowels.gg, CrowdCCL awards voting. And if you jump onto there, you have to vote in every single section. But in there, you can see where there's some great players who need to be voted for. But under the co-streamer program of the year, you will see my name as well as some pretty stiff competition. There's some beastly competition in that poll. But the vote is helpful. It really is. We're doing a sort of fake political movement here. Like I've been joking around all season of just like, I am the voice of the voiceless, the people who get overlooked when it comes to casting and being paid to do the things all the time, from HGC to CCL. Vote for Tetcher. Like, I've been running it like that. I wanted to get some campaign flags made, but the world events have made me less keen on going too hard on that. I'm getting an emote made. I'm still getting an emote made because it's something that I could use in the future, but I decided not to go all the way with like the campaign poster behind me because the world decided to make it's a little yikes to do anything along those lines. I was gonna go very CM Punk on what I was doing as well though, which I think might have gone over a little bit better, but I was not a full pipe bomb, because I would like to get hired in the future, but I was definitely going to try and absorb the voice of the voiceless ideal into what we are doing here. Because I'm sure everyone here has been in the situation where they feel they should have got something and that they were the most qualified to do something, and they get looked over for it and passed over for something else. And I've had that for my entire casting... Not my entire casting career. I was shit, just like everyone else starting something at one point. I was absolutely garbage at one point. All right, we got a new clean feed. Nice. But as I got older, especially once HGC started, I still felt I was a pretty good choice for a lot of the stuff that was going on, and literally got told at one point, we want to have you cast, but we want to test a load of people out first. And I was like, okay, thanks, but you could maybe do something else. You could maybe bring them on for not some huge events. That would be nice. I would like that. Then they proceeded to not hire me for an entire year, which was a bad time, until eventually 90% of the casters in the office that they had were asking them to hire me, and they eventually did. So, yeah, there we go. I was absolute shit. Tetcher 2021, absolutely. I'll admit it, everyone's bad when they start something, except for talented people, but they're weird. We don't like talented. We do like talented people. There's some great talented people. But most people, when they start stuff, aren't good at it. I wasn't a good caster when I started. I was a rubbish caster when I started. We have a clean feed and a draft. We're in, fam. Let's go. All the sound appears to be gone. Do we have any sound at all? If I'm not easily amazing something, I just stop. No, I was terrible. Hey, we got sound too. We did it. We have a clean feed, which we are live. No lag this time. We are live. We're going. We're not lagging. Result, fam. Let's go. CCL bringing it in. Tychus has been removed. CrowdControl have tried it twice. It has worked 0 times. And they're going to be running it in. I will say, practicing something will make you better at it. But knowing when to give up is a huge thing. There's a thing called the sunken cost fallacy that can really kind of destroy you if you get so focused on something. Just like, if I give up, I'll have lost. It's okay to give up sometimes. Weigh up your options, work out the value of continuing and the value of stopping, and make sure that you take care of yourself and your future. As Uther gets removed, this time by Simplicity. Very interesting, swapping it round.
The wait is over.
Die now, busting out the Cassia at this early stage of the draft, stealing it away from Simplicity this time. Where does Simplicity wish to go? Banning out that Uther is very interesting. They've run it quite a few times. What is their strategy? Zeratul, by the way, was left up, as is Malthael, 2 of the heroes that Cure has leaned on very, very heavily. Alrighty, just letting them know that the clean feed seems to be working pretty decent. As Chromie makes her way back in again for Hosty. Hosty is a god Chromie. D.Va, this time going to be picked up by Dequaza. Going to make it into the draft this time. CrowdControl, they're throwing a lot at the wall here. Really trying to see what sticks, really trying to see what works. With Diablo banned out and Johanna already picked, tank options are becoming a little bit lower for CrowdControl. Very, very interesting. We're down to Muradins. We're down to Arthur's. We're down to a Nubrax. Garrosh, but Garrosh can struggle into Johanna. Stitches, maybe? Tyrael. There's still some good options. ETC. But all of them sort of jump down. That is the perfect face for how I feel thinking of my own stuff there. As we see, Zeratul will get removed. Smart plan, getting rid of that. Ana, though, is still available, and that's what I'm scared about here, because now Simplicity could very easily just go Ana Malthael, and Ana Nano Boost Chromie or a Nano Boost Malthael is going to give CrowdControl a bad time. I think this could be a bad thing. I think this could be a problem. If that's the path they want to go, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was. There's the Ana and the Falstad, so the Malthael could easily be picked up in the last option, but they've given themselves some flexibility and some global potential to keep up with that D.Va. I think Simplicity are in control of this draft. I think it's a bad time. I'm going to set up a poll. So far, Simplicity have 100% of the votes in every single poll. A Nubarak is going to be the tank choice. And Zool! Okay, a third frontliner. That might help them out. It's still going to be rough against Malthael, but that damage reduction with Weaken could be really strong in the late game and help them out a lot here. I like this. This is smart. We're going to have a 3-minute poll, so you're going to get a little bit at the start of the game. Poll has begun. Vote. Who will win? Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. There's that Malthael. Very predictable. Simplicity are very predictable. The problem is, being predictable doesn't mean you can stop it. It's pretty predictable that the sun will rise in the morning. Good luck trying to stop it. Because right now, Simplicity are winning every game put before them. They do have the curse of Game 3. They have lost Game 3 in every single series they have played, except against 30k so far. Let's see if CrowdControl can join the curse, or if the curse is truly broken after that 30k matchup. We're going to be finding out. Once again, I am your co-streamer caster Tetcher, bringing you alternative commentary to the max. I am the voice of the voiceless, and I am prepared to bring you in. I needed a version of that. What's the casting version of the voice of the voiceless? What is my situation's version of that? What do you guys feel like? What would you enjoy there? Answers in the comments. As we're going to be getting ready to head into game number 3, potentially the last game of this series, before we move on to Wildheart Esports versus Oxygen Esports. Let's get this going. Big hype. Give me your pogs in the chat as we head into game number 3. Oh no! Observer, please! Observer, please! They forgot to change the overlay. Oh no. Mistakes were made. Alright, we're using this. This is happening now. That's what happens when you swap the clean feed sometimes. They didn't change to Aliobs. Alrighty, full metal for D.Va. CrowdControl on the left, looking to begin the reverse sweep like so many have tried before. Simplicity on the right. Bribestad coming in here to start us off. We're going to see a Thunderstroke, a Thunder Fury build coming in for Dine Out on that Cassia. Going to try and get stacks that way. Going to begin poking in. Good job so far. Sorry about the overlay. This is just the kind of stuff we have to deal with on the clean feed side. I am okay with the default, it just doesn't work with their UI. That's the issue. Lava holding the line for the moment as they clean their way out. He's starting off with a Nerubian armor, the extra spell armor coming in for him, keeping himself sustained. Lutano avoiding danger. Good barrel roll. Cure just able to tank it. D.Va clearing out up there. Interesting that we're seeing the double soak coming in from the 4-man. Not going to try and go for the double soak with the solo lane. There we go. D.Va is heading down there, just trying to catch up with the lanes that were missed. Masquerade putting a lot of pressure. Double sleep dart from Legacy. Good delay. 100% of the votes for the third time going over to Simplicity. Oh, believe in the Simplicity. Bot camp taken by CrowdControl. Mid camp by Simplicity. But there is still one available for CrowdControl as well to match it. They're just a little bit further behind on it. Rotating the safe way. Dayquaza very smart. He's watched the Simplicity matches from the previous weeks where they played super aggressive. Gonna be clearing that out. Our observer tabbed out for a second there. That's why you could hear those sounds. Oh boy, we're going to be seeing Sins exposed. Black Harvest once again. This is almost certainly going to be a Tormented Souls on that Malthael build. And ooh, Zul with the Jailers. We're going for Q build. Great to see. I love this build. Shared Exoskeleton on Lauber. You're going to need to get out of danger pretty quickly as Cure goes to gain some stacks from him. A little bit of anti-healing from Legacy as well. So yeah, Zul is going for a skeleton build here. Now, the idea of this is to basically go for the split scythes, and you poke from range. This allows you to just consistently spam skeletons onto the objective. You increase your maximum skeletons with Jailers, so more skeletons coming in. You combo that with Weaken on level 16, and that allows skeletons and anyone hit by your W to basically get their damage reduced. With the amount of skeletons you're spawning on the board, this gives you a monstrous amount of damage reduction for lots of people, including those on the back line. Something with the regular Spectral Scythe build on Zul doesn't actually do that well. It really focuses on the front line. This is going to allow Zul to poke down very effectively. There is a version of this build. Nice time trap. That's good. This does allow Zul to also, in theory, go for the Decrepify build, which is the exact same style of build, but instead of damage reduction, it slows. And of course, if they get to level 20, they can either go for maximum sustain by going for the Healing Poison Nova, or they can go for the Mortal Wounds, allowing Rutzau to do damage reduction to everyone who is caught in this objective. CrowdControl. They start the objective early, already up to 20 objective minions. Chromie's trying to steal some. Good positioning by Dayquaza, preventing that from happening. And looks like Simplicity going for very similar strategy to what we saw them do in their last week's games, ignoring the objective, trying to macro their way ahead. Slight experience lead for them because of this. We are seeing CrowdControl reacting. They do soak up. Chitinous Plating coming in for Loba. A little stutter there, but I'm sure everything's fine. Cure focused down, rooted. Die now focusing as Rutzau from the other side. They're really trying to focus onto Cure here to take him out. They pull him in with the fend as Cure is held back. He tried to dive back in to dodge most of the engages, but he's still taken out. The Jailers, though, not spawned, so no extra skeletons here. In the meantime, D.Va solo pushing bot lane as the Punisher did actually get pretty heavily weakened here. Dayquaza even going very deep here. Thought he could maybe finish off Hosty. He said he's gone a bit too far. But he's able to wrap around with the help of Lauber. Could have spawned some beetles to get him out of there. They take down one tower, the fountain, and the gate here. Holding everything together for now. Dayquaza cleaning out. They're able to pick control of that slowing sands. Gonna be dropped. Just scouts out the point. No contestation gonna be made. Wall of Bones coming in for Zul. So he's going for a variation of this build. Voice of the Unhired. Could browse a Thesaurus. I'll have a look. A little bit of a trade back and forth here. Cure. Moving in. Cure getting rooted. The Jailers do land this time. That buys them some time. Lutano looking to follow up. Doesn't get caught out. He's gone for a static shield, by the way. A little bit of extra sustain. Cure on that Malthael. X-ray. A little bit of trouble. Backs away. Bribe immediately burned. Camp stolen. Lauber burning the cocoon very quickly here. Are they committing? Rutzau coming in from the side. Looks like they're going to try and go for it. Lutano is just wrapping around. He has fly, Who has the CC to stop him? They have Valkyrie. Dyna needs to be able to keep up with Lutano, though, who's just on the run, taking quite a few fort shots here. A little bit of a mispositioning here. Slow comes out, buying a lot of time. They even burned an Emerald for this. And Lutano, that was a fend and a half, over the wall. He's going to try and fly now. He's porting the minions, bruh. Just fly. He's buying some time. Keep damage, finishes the job. He staggered his death really hard there. I guess his fly was off cooldown, because if he'd had fly, he could have got out of there. Sleep Dart burned onto Dequaza, tries to make it onto the point, unable to do so. Has that rush down, so a little bit of percentage damage when they dive in. Always nice, great sustain. They hold the line for the moment. Masquerade just clearing everything out. It is a nano boost. Valkyrie, Poison, Nova. But yeah, that Bone Wall for Zul, giving him a little bit more burst sustain here. Not going to go with the split sides that you can get for Zul on this level, which really helps you with summoning skeletons. But this one, though, does give him a hell of a lot of sustain here. Oh, sorry, no, this is Tragul's Essence, usually. So yeah, he's going for the burst sustain as opposed to the lane sustain. My apologies, this makes way more sense because he's fighting on the objective. I'm just really dumb and can't remember what level talents are on. The Echoes of Death Split Scythe is on next level. He doesn't even have to do that. He can still go for amplified damage and still have a pretty good time here and go for a Bone Spear or a Weaken. The build for Zul here is pretty flexible. Now he has that Bone Wall in play. This is fine. I just can't remember how the build works. Cure. Clearing out the lane for now. They're holding the line, level 13. Not available for either team yet. XP, though, is pretty equal. CrowdControl been able to hold it well. Kill count, 2-0. CrowdControl in the lead this time. Sleep Dart dodged by Rutzau. He's come down to clear up. D.Va already starting the objective. Rutzau pushing up here. Jailers is almost certainly done. Quasar forced to back up. Lutano making the most of that range advantage at this case. Lutano clearing up. They're going to smash their way through. You can see those urticating spines coming out from Lauba at this level 13. Voice of the Overlooked. I like that term. That may be a top contender. There's that Spectral Scythe, that Echoes of Death for Zul. So we are, in fact, leaning towards a Decrepify or Weaken style. Valkyrie just short on range. Giant Killer for Falstad wants to be able to deal with these frontliners. They're still ignoring it. This time it's CrowdControl's turn to ignore an objective and not take it here. They push in mid lane instead, making the most of Zul. Summoning in skeletons. Lutano's going to fly in. So is Masquerade. They have Blessed Shield available, as is Gust. Punisher going over to Simplicity. They take control. Lauba backs away. Shield expires before he finishes taking the Dragon Breath, so he does take a big chunk of damage. Pull in. Pulled by Dequaza. Get absolutely chunked out in terms of damage there. That shield from the side. D.Va trying to delay. Tormented Souls coming in with the nano boost. The damage output is insane. Lauba comes in and they do all survive. They zone away. Lauba going to take a big chunk of damage, but does tank this. The fort will live. They all live. They sustained that really, really nicely. That's one of the best counter engages we've seen against that style of comp in quite a while. Great sustain from CrowdControl there as Dequaza cleans up, keeps the XP count high, and in fact, somehow, due to the double soaking during that objective time, CrowdControl actually come out ahead in terms of XP. They keep themselves going. Looking very, very nice here. I'd love to tell you what talent Cassia has at level 13, but it is hidden. I'm pretty sure it's War Traveler. But it's quite hard to tell because there's a load of stuff in the way. There's a big old N in the way, and I'm pretty sure I can't see. There's an N and a T as it's standing for I cannot see anything. All right, we're going to see the clear here. They pull it in. Tormented Souls, this time with no nano boost. They do a lot of damage. Here comes the Poison Nova. Cocoon, burn onto Malthael. They go for the counter engage. And yeah, the Malthael, not enough damage alone. Falstad not in position. There's the Gust. Cure, teleporting away, but caught by the Jailers as they smack him down. Black Harvest just completed. Legacy sniped by Nequaza on the backline. Great Valkyrie onto the Chromie, who has nowhere to go and is but delaying the inevitable as she is taken out. They rush bot. This fort is but small bacon for them. They move to bot lane and they're gonna take out this keep, or at least the front wall, to set themselves up for the next objective. They push their way in. CrowdControl looking strong, making their way forward. They look for top with Zool summoning skeletons. They've got Beetles down here to tank it. 3 seconds until Malthael, 6 seconds until the Ana. Can they do it? They cannot. The timer runs down, but they weaken that keep significantly, giving themselves a much better chance to take it later. Big fly up from Falstad to try and deal with Zool, who's already in full retreat. Trap set by CrowdControl. They want to catch people as they rotate to deal with this. Instead, the Bruiser camp is being taken by Simplicity. Will CrowdControl bite and just push further, or how long will they be willing to wait? Bruiser's taken. They now know there's a rotation coming. Masquerade is going to be a full 4v4. They look for it. They turn onto Masquerade, but he's not going to be caught. He's going to be turning around. In fact, there's Cocoon burn onto Cure as they chase Masquerade, who had to burn. That's a good Valkyrie, but he's caught on the wall. With Lutano arriving, Nano Boost is burned, and that's a good knockback from Daquaz with the hit the Nitros for the mini stun, and everyone is able to get out of danger. That was rough. Very nearly a big turnaround by Simplicity onto CrowdControl, which would have ruined their lead. It is 5 kills to 0 right now. The best situation that CrowdControl have been in. Top lane is getting absolutely dunked. Stun onto Cure. Cleansed out. Excuse me. They charge forward. Tormented Souls. No nano boost. Poison Nova. Chunking them through. But this time, Rutzau was dropped very, very low. Nequaza gets some damage reduction. They tap the fountain. They're still willing to go back in with level 16 advantage. They've gone for Decrepify. Massive slows from Rutzau. Not the weaker for damage reduction. They just want to keep everyone locked down to get that Cassia damage going and keep people inside the self-destruct. They push forward. I can't tell you at all what D.Va has. Diverting power, sorry, we've already seen it. They push forward. Micro missiles coming out. Self-destruct is burn. They focus Cure to keep him locked down. Valkyrie trying to prevent him from escaping. He avoids the self-destruct, but he's still taken out. X-Ray barely surviving, healing himself back up. The anti-heal trying to drop him down, but he survives with the potions of shielding. They take down Johanna. They are looking for Legacy. The nano boost is burned onto Hosty, who does some damage on the way through, but it's not going to be enough. Hosty's down. Legacy's down. It's only Falstad who's currently dueling Zool, but that means he's not defending this keep. Falstad goes down to Zool, and CrowdControl are running in for the keep. Zool's going to finish the objective. They have no one to tank this. They're just using Deckard, who's making the most of his armor trait and his potions to stay alive. They use the mech, tanking through, poster shielding, helping them stay sustained. They finish off the keep, and they rush the core. With no health, they still commit. The Punisher is on the way, though. They've brought Zool. Big minion wave up in the top lane. But with the Punisher and everyone else here, they should be able to hold it. Johanna's coming back in. Cure is going to have to pull off the play of a lifetime, and he may just do it. The damage is insane. Rutzau is down. Daquaza's out his mech. X-Ray is going to drop a stay a while to buy time. They rush it in, and that's going to be game. We will see a game number 4 in this best of 5 series. The curse lives on. Simplicity simply cannot shut people down in game number 3 unless they are 30k, apparently. 10 kills to 4 at the end of that game. A solid win for CrowdControl. Very much in control of most of that game. Finally finding their positioning and their angle. Nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. That's going to be a big play coming in with CrowdControl. They have now begun the potential reverse sweep. You can see there that Zool build at the end. It is the Decrepify. A strong talent, slowing heroes by 30% if they are hit by a Spectral Scythe or a skeletal warrior. It really let Cassia and D.Va stay really sticky, even Anubrak to a degree, stay very sticky onto those members, like that Falstead, like that Malthael, who are usually very mobile. Keeping them slow allowed them to tank through. Once you realize that you can survive that hard engage enough times, once you've realized you can survive that enough times, then you realize you might not need the weaken. And that's what they went for. They're going for the Decrepify instead. Big, big plays. Bringing in that Zool. Very nicely done. And that's going to bring us to game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Can CrowdControl be the first and only team in these playoffs to take a second game off of Simplicity? We're going to be finding out. Alrighty, Okay, so yeah, looks like they're fixing everything. They're switching to the nameplates next. They're switching the nameplates next game, so they're putting on Aliobs, and they are going to colorblind mode, which is wonderful. Feels good. Excuse me. So looks all good. So yeah, the streamer needs to install Aliobs. No, you can't. Okay, looks like they're just going to do it by turning off team nameplates. Okay, they're turning off team nameplates to try and fix the issue, which is a little annoying. I think I can maybe fix that. I'm wondering if I have a load overlay that I used last time. I wonder, do I have anything that could work like that? Because if I do, I could maybe give us nameplates. Nope, that's for the current overlay. I don't know, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm seeing what I can do. I'm seeing if I have anything, I'm seeing if I have any old overlays from HGC time to make it so that we get an overlay at least, because they're just going to turn them off. So let's see what I can do. Let's see what I have. I know I have some old. I know I definitely have some old HGC stuff somewhere. I just need to find it while we're looking. I think it's in here. Maybe. We don't want lower thirds. In-game overlay. No, that's definitely not it. That's I mean, maybe. If we shrink it. It's got like the words team name on it. That's not ideal, is it? Here's qualifiers. Is it in here? PNG. 1080. Oh, that looks okay. Maybe. That might be it. Overlay A, overlay B. What's the difference between those two? Oh, one has an outline, one doesn't. Alright, we like the one with the outline. Okay. So I'm just going to drag that to there. And we'll fix that in a mo if it doesn't fit. Alright, cool. Jank overlay hype, maybe. We'll see if it fits. Because I don't think this one does, but we'll see. This is from an old version of HGC, so I don't know if this one fits at all. We'll try it. We'll try it once we're in game. So, let's jump into the draft so that you guys can actually see it. Let's get going and take us into the game. So they've got us an overlay for the draft, so that's good. This is encouraging already. That's encouraging. Alrighty, so D.Va has been banned out. Don't blame them. That was dece as hell. Deesa, if you will. Very nicely done. I'm checking any other folders I have, because I have a lot of folders of old HGC stuff, and they're kind of just scattered around my computer. I don't really know where anything is. I'm sort of just improvising this as we go. So here we go, trying to fix everything. Uther's going to be banned out again this time, because Simplicity have taken our first pick with Diablo being removed. Simplicity taking that very sensible. Where on earth are my other HGC folders? I thought I had more. This might be the right one. We'll see. There's some tournament? Oh no, that's the tournament realm. We don't want that. We don't need the tournament realm. Is it in my D drive? Doesn't look like it. Steam back up? No. Hogger! First pick once again. It worked very, very well for Simplicity in the last one. You can always pray they run Juice Pirates. There's always a chance. You never know. In here? Nope, that's just a load of Heroes of the Dorm logos. CrowdControl now. With their next pick. I moved my mouse, sorry, I realized it was on the screen. Stukov, nice to see. And Cassia, okay. That's pretty solid, a pretty standard first setup. And yeah, the Zeratul being removed straight away. Not too surprising here. It's still possible to run Juice Pirates without Zeratul. The Zeratul is a tool in it. Hogger makes it less likely, though. We'll probably not see it just because Hogger is here. Kroby once again, and Johanna. If it keeps working, why change it? They're just going to keep running it until they start dying with it. Because it just keeps working. If you're enjoying the show, ladies and gentlemen, maybe consider dropping a subscription or a donation. We are at 69 subs. We're aiming for 100. I can only do this with your support, as Brightwing will be banned away here. They leave Ana again. Very comfortable playing against the Ana, it seems. See if that was a mistake or if this will work well for them. Medivh. Sensible. Oh, Medivh made it through. Completely forgot. Completely forgot that's a thing. Medivh has been banned, though. He will not be played. I completely missed that he made it through this far. It's so rare to see him. But in this case, he shall be taken out. No more Medivh. So they're going to get Muradin this time. With Diablo banned away. Muradin into Johanna, not too bad. And Sonya for Dayquaza. Didn't work well in game number 2, but it was still a strong pick that did a lot of value. Really gave them some good backline potential. See if they can make the most out of it this time. Alrighty then. And Malthael again. And Deckard, no Ana this time. They're a little scared of the Sonya. They bring the Deckard once more. Those big sleeps in game 2 were really, really solid against that Sonya. And they, of course, have that Herodic Staff that will help them out quite a lot as well. Makes sense. I do like it. They've got some good options there. God, I have so many folders full of what might be hero stuff, but I don't remember. I'm going to assume what I have is fine. Genji! Taken by CrowdControl this time. Usually Simplicity are the ones running it. They pick it up this time, giving themselves some great backline pressure. Johanna and Hogger are going to have the work cut out for them. Deckard, once he has that Herodic Staff, will have a little more sustain. But Genji is going to be putting on a lot of pressure for that backline. A really clutch final pick with CrowdControl really trying to play aggressive. Trying to punish that backline because Simplicity play very front line heavy. We'll see if it's enough. Alrighty, so we'll see if this works. I have this logo set up. Which are they team names? Oh god, they're not on this layer, are they? Oh, snap. Hang on, I need to do a thing. Alrighty, hang on. We'll jump back to me. Because I realize I actually need to do a bit of setup for this to work. Okay, hang on. Template. Remove everything. We need everything except for... Yes, I know there's a game. Hang on, I'm working on it. We are fixing it. We don't need logos. We don't need divisions. We need the names. We don't need the HUD. Turn everything off except the name and the score. Okay. Let's see if this works. In-game. We need this. That fits. It looks ugly as sin, but it fits. Now, if we bring this up to the top, in theory, We have team names, but they're in the wrong freaking place. Superb. All right, I'm going to jump into game, and I'll get this sorted. So let's do it. I will sort this as we're going, ladies and gentlemen. So hello. We're in game. They said they were going to hide those. What the hell? I thought they said they were just going to hide those from view. So what, do I just leave these off? All right, well, sure. I guess CCL is going to leave them on anyway. I put in all that effort for nothing. Alrighty, guess we're just going to not see talents. That's fine. So, we're good. We're in. Just everything they say is being ignored. I don't know what's happening. They're not They've communicated one thing and done another for like the third time now. Let's go. All right, Charge Strike's going to be coming in. On the left, it is CrowdControl, who have begun a potential reverse sweep. But still, one game away from victory. It is Simplicity. We start off on Sky Temple this time. Let's see if this is enough for them. I'm so confused as to what they're doing. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Alrighty. Healing coming in from the Meridian. And the thing is, I am not contracted, so I can say what I like. Feels good. Alrighty. Meridian, the third wind for the extra sustain. Bones to North for Hogger because it's the normal build. Cure getting chased down here. Teleports back in. Very greedy. Very nearly pays for it, but they do get the counter kill thanks to Lutano and thanks to the Johanna Masquerade. And they're able to pick off Grutzau. Loba now in serious trouble. They chase forward. Try to dive in. Loba is barely alive. Sniped by Hosty. Nicely done. 2 kills to 0 for Simplicity as they start off with another lead. Another auto-attack, more focused build for the Sonya here. Shot of Fury and Warpaint coming in. Yeah, there's no communication saying that they would actually put the nameplates up. The communication says explicitly they would take them off. So we're just going to have to try and read past them. It'll be fine. Reverberation for the Muradin. Die Alone for the Malthae, already focused. Who are going to try and pick off Dayquaza. 3 kills. Chromie damage is just ridiculous. It's so strong. Bruiser versus Bruiser. Under towers, though, for CrowdControl, which is a little bit better for them, but numbers advantage. 4 people in this top lane for Simplicity as they put the pressure on. Loba finally going to make his way up to try and help out as this top push is crazy. First tower already down. Second one under pressure. They hold for now, but that's a lot of shots already coming in. Positioning taken by Simplicity with a 3-0 kill lead. They're about to hit level 7 for the talent advantage. And Simplicity looking to close out the series here and now. Dayquaza will take over the middle point, so they're just going to try and protect it. CrowdControl looking for a full 100% trade. This does mean that their top lane is about to have a very, very bad day. They step off the objective. They're going to try and kill. Malthael. Cure, focus down, teleports out. Fear the Reaper to try and get away with the extra speed boost. He gets away off the skin of his teeth with that Fear the Reaper speed boost. He boosts his way out of there and stays alive. Shot still being grabbed by CrowdControl though. They gave up some time, but they don't give up any shots. Top is finished. Top fort is down. And that's going to allow Simplicity to step up and take the fight. Dive by Rutzau onto the backline looking for Hosty. And instead he's going to get stunned down, focused down with the deflect. Loba's in trouble. Cure is trying to chase him down and Loba is taken out. X-Ray being forced by Legacy to get slowed. The good block from Lutano. X-Ray will die to 1 skill shot, but no one's got any. The flashlight from Johanna does not land. And that's going to be the final shots of this altar as well. Going over to Simplicity. 4 kills to 0. Almost a full level lead. Simplicity are in the driver's seat. And CrowdControl, they've got a lot of work to do. They start on their siege camp, mirrored on the other side by Simplicity. Taking that down. Skullcracker for Muradin. A little bit of extra CC. That'll help him out. Long pitch. Coming in for the Stukov. Teleport away, dodging out on Cure. Cure, of course, on level 7 has gone for that Massacre. Really hard to deal with. chase forward, Hosty slowed, but the time trap really shuts down the chase. Very nicely done. You could see the size of the shield on Genji, though. That was very fun to see, as Genji, of course, has gone for a little bit of extra protection in this game. Doesn't need dodge or anything, so he's gone for that augmented guard, giving him a shield equal to 100% of the damage he blocked. Very fun to see. Dayquaza getting outzoned by Cure because Die alone is good. Loba chased out of bot lane. Losing any damage there. Cure getting chased for the 4th time this game. Can they kill him? Yes, they can. First kill that CrowdControl have been able to get. Level 10 already on the board for Simplicity. Just under half a level away for CrowdControl. It's nearly a full level lead. It's very close. As level 10 is hit, level 11's just around the corner for Simplicity. Dragon Blade Leap. We asked to go with Avatar. No Haymaker here. Massive Shove and Valkyrie. It's the Hail Mary style. CrowdControl are going as hard as they can. They are here to pick up kills and pressure that backline. This is a great way to do it. Great CC from the Sonya to set them up. Dragonblade to follow up. Valkyrie to pull people out. They've got a lot of skills here based around catching people and then snowballing a win out of that. There's very little reaction from Simplicity outside of that stay a while and listen from Legacy, who is staying real far back for obvious reasons. Hogger right now is double soaking, trying to keep his team ahead and maybe get him level 13. He's going to ignore the XP mid, though, and make his way for the objective, as this may turn into a 5v5. Loba is having a lot of trouble with Cure right now on the outside. Dayquaza has not been spotted. Lutano will find him in that bush. Loba is being forced off the point. The percentage damage from that die alone, a little bit too much. There's the leap. Time outed by Hosty. There's the counter engage. Bless shield. Goodbye, Stukov. Murin is down in serious trouble. Loba getting body blocked in. He's going to try and retreat to the rest of his team, but takes too much damage. Cure picks up the kill. And Hosty just shut that down. Let's see that again. What a play here. Look at Hosty as this leap comes in. Legacy is standing right in a circle of potions to keep himself alive. As we see them forced off, Hosty, they go in, but the timeout was perfectly timed, and that immediately forces Dayquaza to back all the way up. Far too scary to deal with, way too tough, as we do see Boss going to be taken by the members of Simplicity. They take full control, pushing their way in. They grab control of the Siege Giant, and they're going to make their way into the bot lane. Unless Loba can force him off. Bounces out, but here's Cure, and that's a bad time for Loba. That's going to guarantee the objective going over to Simplicity. They get out. Inevitable end is burn. Lutano dives in for Dayquaza, who is too deep here. Down goes Sonya. He perfect bounce from Lutano to try and chase Rutsao, but Rutsao gets out of danger. That's a boss and a Siege Giant down now. This is going to be the keep taken out. Huge control for Simplicity, looking to close this series out with level 13 advantage. They are crushing it. The last remaining fort of CrowdControl is about to fall. The question is, will they dive the Bruiser Camp too? They have the numbers. They're moving up. Too late. If they'd gone a second earlier, Cure could have maybe gotten that point, but they don't get it. Fort will be finished off by minions. That's a triple fort play in favor of Simplicity, who are still very far in the lead. Level 14 to level 12 right now, but level 13 just around the corner. It's a level and a half lead in this game now for the side of Simplicity. Time trap in the bush. Being very patient, but it saw absolutely everything. There's the vision being dropped with that Time Walker's Pursuit, and they're just going to try and use this timing just because they see everyone else on the map to try and take down bot fort, which they do. A little bit of passive XP, never going to hurt anyone. CrowdControl grab that, and that's going to allow them to just get a little bit closer to back in the game. They're being very patient with this. It's another War Traveler, I think. I can't for the life of you tell you what Genji's gone. I think it's Shingun? Or where the Shimada? I have no idea. It's impossible to tell. Sonya as well. I think that's No Escape. Maybe. I don't know. There's some talents. We see Raw coming in for Johanna. Inevitable End. We saw that talent being used. A pummel, by the way, for the Hogger. Some spell power reduction. Very cool to see. One bit of Rage for Muradin. Condemn. Trying to slow him down. Cure creeping forwards. Wants to set something up. Lutano on the flank. Looking to see if we can get a quick dive in, set something up. There's the leap. Inevitable Ended. Hold a pulse with the body box. Bless shield. There's the stuns. Last rights on Dayquaza, who is taken out by Johanna. Dynow mounts up with the War Traveler. And that's another brutal fight. Lava was able to escape this time. He's able to run all the way around the outside to get out of danger here. But again, Simplicity, another strong fight. A talent up. They take a win there. Violent reaction, not even close to being utilized here. Rutzau's going to try and get Cure. Deflex and dead. He'll die for percentage damage. Going to try and take him on the way out. Goes down to the blind there. Lava trying to cause distraction on the backline as Dynow is going all in the damage. It's the 2v3. Can Dynow do enough damage here? He's gone for that inner light. He needs to hit those Qs to get that sustain going. He needs that heal. He's trying to get the speed boost away from Johanna, but surprise Lutano, and both of them go down. Everyone else gets out of there. That's going to be another incredibly one fight. It's 12 kills to 2. Such a huge lead currently in favor of Simplicity. They take the siege camp. They've got the bottom shots. 1 minute until boss. Simplicity are looking to send CrowdControl down to the lower part of the bracket as they hold full control. This is looking real rough for CrowdControl. How do they make a comeback? What's their win condition? If they could live till level 20, they could maybe get some. They could maybe go for an Ariat Crater style, which would really shut down the value of that insane timeout we've been seeing from Chromie. That will give them a little bit of time and effort. Genji has been really struggling to get some good value. Super Strain may help him. That extra armor to keep him alive from Stukov once we get to that level. There's level 16. Super Strain is on the board. So that will help them out a little bit as well. X-Ray backs away from Lutano. Lolba just steps on in, forced to Dwarf toss away. He's got Dwarf launch. That will help so much. Gives him the disengage. They're having a bit of a rough time. Cassia yet to pick, I think. I can't tell. There's a troll in the way. As Dynow pushes in. Big stun. There's the Hog Wild for the disengage. They're a little scared. Don't want to fight when they're on even talents, but the fight is coming to them. They can't find it, though. CrowdControl unable to get the full engage. Loba walks into the root, forced to jump away. You see the rotation. Going down. They want to control boss. CrowdControl, they start the boss. Level 20 is wanted by Simplicity, so CrowdControl, they're forcing the fight pre-20. They have to make Simplicity fight them. This is how they do it. The Trollnado really giving them a rough time, though. Lutano comes in for the backline as X-Ray runs through the boss area. Timeout was already dropped. Valkyrie onto the backline. X-Ray's buying time as Lutano is unable to get into the fight, but down goes Loba and Sonya. All of the front line is down. X-Ray is taken out by Cure in that backline. Cure is diving deep now. Rutsau is down, and that just leaves Dynow, who will get Cure, but is completely outnumbered. 20 is achieved, full team wipe. And there's Catapults already on the core with the Siege Giants, and Simplicity are about to move on in the upper bracket. The curse is real, but that just means tradition is real, as we see Simplicity smashing their way through these minions and making their way onto the core. They will move on into the upper bracket finals to play against the winner of Wildheart Esports versus Oxygen, but Simplicity, their playoff tear from Seed 6 all the way to the top 3 continues. Very, very well done. Simplicity, hold on. They keep the tear going. What a performance by this team, powering through everyone in their way through Seed 7, 4, 5, 4, and now 1. Can anyone stand in their way? That is the question. We saw a little bit of lag there. I'm going to assume it's fine and not panic. But Simplicity, they just keep going. They move on and on and on. And it just keeps working. They hold a strong lead in this. They hold a strong lead, taking the 3-1. Very convincing. CrowdControl not looking any better than any of the other teams Simplicity has played against. Something is different about them because they just keep smashing everything in their way. Simplicity could easily go all the way here. We'll see if they're able to do it. Looks like we're not getting a post-game screen. How often does Collusion play on Simplicity? He played a lot during the main season, but he is not really playing so much now because Legacy is coming. Legacy has a better scrim schedule, so because they're playing with Legacy more, Legacy is the starting support now for Simplicity. Wow. What a performance. With that, Simplicity, they keep their tear going. They look insanely strong to push their way through to this point. We'll see if they can keep it going. Because, of course, their next opponent will be next week. They'll be playing against the winner of the series coming up next. It's going to be Wildheart Esports versus Oxygen Esports. I'm keeping an eye on the main stream now, so that if there's an interview, I will send you guys to that. So that you guys can see it. But right now, wow. You were surprised we signed up for the draft? Yeah, I mean, a lot of the players are working full time because CCL sure aren't paying them enough for a full job. They're just trying their best, bless them, and that's fair. That's fair. They keep saying it in the interviews, like this is never attempted to be a full career, which is basically them saying we are never raising the budget on this, or at least we have no intention of doing it yet. I'm being toxic today. I'm being honest, but I'm being toxic. Alrighty, so we're going to be getting ready. If they have a winner's interview, I will send you guys over to that. But coming up next, we have an interview. Coming up next will be Wildheart Esports versus Oxygen Esports. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to send you over to the interview, and then I'll send you to a break screen. See you all later. And yes, CrowdControl will not be playing tomorrow. CrowdControl are playing next week, I believe. So see you all in a bit. Wait, you're not playing tomorrow. You're right. CrowdControl playing tomorrow. So see you all in a bit after the interview.
Not even like 5% of what we have now. And it's not even necessarily the players. Like Wit and Collusion, shout outs to both of them. They're both incredible players. It's just for some reason now with Legacy and Masca, we gel really well. We've also changed up the drafting, Cure drafts. And before, like Lutano drafted on Freedom, he's an excellent drafter. It's just the few changes we made, it just all clicks.
If it works, it works. You guys have been playing great. Your score did seem low for what seemed to be the level of the players, 2-5 in the regular season. Now you've lost, like Doa pointed out, just 3 maps in 4 best-of-5 matches. Just phenomenal. And do you think now that you are the favorite to win the whole thing?
I mean, I always did, even in season, even if it was 2-5, like I knew as soon as we clicked and played to even close to our abilities, like I knew we could win. I'm just happy it happened. So
nice.
I'm curious, because we're not able to jump into your comms because of just Discord issues. What are your comms like now? You were talking about the gelling and the synergistic value that you've all kind of built together since the holiday break going into the playoffs. Is it one loud voice? Is it kind of, are there a lot of in-game shot callers? Can you just talk about how you kind of maybe go through even just a basic team fight?
So Kira and Lutano, I'd say, are the 2 main voice callers. Lutano would be more towards the macro side of things, and then Kira is more towards the team fight shot calling. However, we're all looking for our own plays. If Legacy's on Deckard and he's looking for a big sleep, he's calling it. I'm calling the damage I could hit. And it just works out together. So our comms gel really, really, really well. And I think, that's about it.
Yeah, no, I was interested in that insight. It's really, really cool. Congratulations again on that victory.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We've got one more question before we let you go. In your opinion, how long after Christmas is it appropriate to have your Christmas tree still up? What do you think about that topic? I'm just curious.
Oh my god!
Until we win, baby.
Okay, all right. The tree's straight up. So there's one last present under the tree, and it's a CCL championship. I get it. All right, enough said. Any quick shout outs you want to make before we really let you go?
Kieran and Lutano finally beat the number 1 seed, which is Big Pog. So I'm really happy for the whole team. Shout outs to the bathrobes, the hostages, who are my subs. I'll clarify right now. And shout out to Zugrug, specifically our coach Zugrug, and also our analyst Zugrug, and our scrum partner Zugrug, and yeah, just all the Zugrugs out there. Thank you.
A man of many talents. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Hosty. Congrats again on the win. Looking forward to seeing your matches in the next best of 5.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care, guys.
All right. There you have it. Hosty from Simplicity.